The U.S. Air Force has two air superiority fighters in its portfolio in the F-22 Raptor and F-15 Eagle. But when looking to boost the fleet with procurement of a new old jet for the task, it was the Eagle, not the legendary Raptor, to gain a second lease on life. That actually raises the question: if America can acquire new F-15s, a design that's over 50 years old, why isn't it seeking to develop new F-22s instead? By most assessment, the F-22 Raptor remains the most proficient air superiority fighter on the globe, with its rival in China's J-20B beginning to form up and Russia's Su-57 still lagging a bit behind. The F-22 truly is still at the top of its game, but that doesn't imply constructing more actually makes good sense. While the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter is commonly recognized as the most technologically capable fighter in the sky, it was developed as a sort of continuation of the F-16 Fighting Falcon's multi-purpose architecture, with a focus put on performing air-to-ground missions. The earlier F-22 Raptor was supposed to serve as a replacement, instead for the iconic F-15 Eagle, as the nation's top-of-the-line dogfighter. While both the F-22 and F-35 are fifth-generation planes that employ stealth to facilitate mission completion, and both are able to perform air-to-air and air-to-ground combat operations, they each specialize in a distinct component of air warfare and were meant to serve in quite different roles. Unlike the F-22, the U.S. continues to receive new F-35s, albeit remarks made by top defense officials over the past year have brought the Joint Strike Fighter's future into some question. America will surely be flying F-35s for decades to come, but it's beginning to appear less and less plausible that the F-35 will replace the F-16 as the Air Force's workhorse platform. The Air Force originally wanted to acquire 750 F-22s to establish a formidable fleet of stealth interceptors for the 21st century. But when the United States found itself deeper embroiled in counter-terror and counterinsurgency operations against technologically inferior opponents, the demand for superior dogfighters became significantly less compelling. With continuous combat operations in numerous areas to fund, the F-22 program was stopped down in December of 2011, with just 186 planes delivered. Today, over a decade later, the F-22 survives in extremely few numbers, despite its terrifying reputation. Now the United States has worries about its diminishing fleet of F-22 Raptors that were previously supposed to replace the F-15 outright. Only roughly 130 of those 186 delivered F-22s were ever operational, and now the number of combat-ready F-22s is likely in the double tens. With no new Raptors to replace the fleet as existing planes age out, each hour an F-22 flies anywhere in the globe is now 1 hour closer to the world's finest dogfighter's retirement. The future of the Air Force, as Air Force Chief of Staff Gen. Charles C.Q. Brown has openly acknowledged, doesn't involve the formidable Raptor, but America needs an air superiority fighter that can stand and swing with the finest in the world, and as good as the F-15 Eagle may be, it lacks the stealth it would need to survive an open battle with a nation like China or Russia. With the NGAD program still years away from creating an operational fighter, America's air superiority mission now faces the danger of not having the planes it needs for a high-end combat if one were to break out, as unlikely as that may seem. As simple as just producing new F-22s may sound, the truth is, restarting the F-22 production line would likely cost the same or maybe even more than simply designing an altogether new and potentially superior fighter. Lockheed Martin cannibalized a considerable lot of the F-22's manufacturing infrastructure to enable the continued manufacture of the F-35, meaning it wouldn't be as simple as just reopening the facilities that had previously made Raptors. In reality, Lockheed Martin would have to approach producing new F-22s as though it was a whole new operation, which is precisely why the United States didn't look into acquiring new F-22s rather than the contentious new old F-15EX. Boeing's new F-15s are considered fourth-generation fighters that are woefully deficient in stealth when compared to modern fighters like the F-22 and F-35. Yet the Air Force has decided to acquire new F-15s at a per-unit price that even exceeds new F-35 purchases. Why? There are a lot of reasons, but main among them are operational costs. The F-15 is significantly cheaper per flying hour than either the F-35 or the F-22, and quick manufacturing capacity. Boeing has already been constructing improved F-15s for American friends in nations like Qatar and Saudi Arabia, so starting up a new production line for the United States comes with very minimal expense. The F-22's production line, on the other hand, hasn't existed in almost a decade. In a report provided to Congress in 2017, it was predicted that resuming F-22 manufacturing would cost the United States $50 billion merely to buy 194 additional aircraft. That works down to between $206 and $216 million per fighter, as compared to the F-35's present price of roughly $80 million per airframe and the F-15EX's per unit price of approximately $88 million. Does it imply it's impossible to produce fresh F-22s? Of course not. With enough money, everything is feasible. But when predicted expenses climb, the issue becomes, is it practical? And the answer to that question seems to be an unequivocal no. The U.S. Air Force has put a comparably paltry $9 billion into its own next-generation air dominance fighter program, targeted at building a replacement for the F-22, over the space of 6 years, 2019 to 2025. 2019 to 2025. If the new NGAD fighter reaches service on time, it may even get to fly alongside the F-22 before it flies out to pasture. So all the Raptor's reign as king of the sky may soon come to an end. It may not be until America has a new competitor for the title.